Hey guys, welcome back. We are doing lesson 30 for Wit and Wisdom. So let's get started. It wants us to read The Windmill. So let's read that poem, The Windmill. All right, The Windmill. Let's see if I can scroll up here. Here we go. This windmill is a spinning wheel, a massive metal flower threading breezes through her petals, whirling hour by hour, dizzy dancing day and night, a turning, churning tower, whisking winds from all directions, spinning air to power, by Amy L.V. All right, so let's talk about this poem for a moment. Have you ever heard of that word thread or threading before? Where have you heard that word at? In sewing, right? Okay. Well, in threading, a needle means putting a string through a small hole at the top of the needle. Well, the author here is comparing threading a needle to the way the air fits through the spaces between the blades of a windmill. So let's look at this. Here's the word threading in our poem, okay? They use this word to describe the movement of air around a windmill. So what I want you to do right now is, in your journal, I want you to draw a quick sketch, okay, of a windmill and explain that the word threading describes how the air is making its way between the blades, okay? So you're going to draw a quick windmill and draw air flowing between the blades, excuse me. All right, now I'm going to read the poem again to you, The Windmill. This windmill is a spinning wheel, a massive metal flower threading breezes through her petals, whirling hour by hour, dizzy dancing day and night, a turning, churning tower, whisking winds from all directions, spinning air power. All right, you can pause the video now to do your sketching, okay, and then turn it back on to move forward with this, okay? All right. And you do not have to turn that picture in. Just keep it in your journal, okay? All right. So our focus question here is, how does William use the powerful force of the wind? Our content framing is, what is the essential meaning of the boy who harnessed the wind? So our think, pair, share right now. Why do we find the essential meaning of a text? It means, why would we find that text meaning for? What would we use it for? Well, let's think about it. Doesn't it give us ideas for our own life? Yep. And it's the important message from the author. It makes everything in the text fit together. All right. It says now, act it out. So let's talk about the essential meaning here. We've been discussing the events around William building the windmill. So what are some things William did to help him build the windmill? Let's think about this. How could we act it out? Well, it says William went to the library and read about windmills in science books. So how could you act that out? Reading a book, right? Okay. William imagined a windmill and decided he was going to build one. So he was thinking about that windmill, right? Okay. William collected pieces for his windmill in the junkyard. So you could be walking around gathering things. So what happened after he built the windmill? Well, let's think about this. What happened after he built the windmill? Let's use our book and see if we figure out the answer here. to go to 21 and 22. All right. So what happened after he built the mill? Like always, it came, first a breeze, then a gusting gale, and the tower swayed and the blades spun around. What happened here? He climbed up, didn't he? And he felt the breeze. He climbed up and felt the breeze there. He felt the wind coming and turning the blades. Let's look at page 23 and 24. With sore hands once slowed by hunger and darkness, William connected wires to a small bulb, which flickered at first and then surged as bright as the sun. Tonga, he shouted, I have made electric wind. So looking at these pages, what did he do? He connected the wires and used the power from the windmill to make electricity, right? Okay, so let's look at another page. 26. Wachitabino, a man yelled. Well done. As the doubters clapped and cheered, William knew he had just begun. Light could not fill empty bellies, but another windmill could soak the dry ground, creating food where once there was none. Magetsia Mafipo. Electric wind can feed my country, William thought. And I'm hoping I pronounced those words correctly, which I probably did not. Okay, so what's going on here? He knows he's going to build another windmill, doesn't he? To pump water to the dry ground. So he's built one for electric, and now he's going to build another one for the water. Okay, so let's think about this. Why does William build this windmill? Why does he build it? Well, he reads about these things, doesn't he? He reads about the windmills in science books at the library and learns more about them. He finds out that windmills can produce electricity and pump water, and he knows electricity and water will help his people. So what challenge did he face when he started building this windmill? People thought he was crazy. They called him names. But you know what? He was still determined. He kept moving forward and created that windmill, didn't he? So, what do you think the essential message is of this text based on what we just talked about? Maybe determination and hard work can solve problems, or knowing things from books can help you reach your goals. Okay. Well, when things get hard, keep trying. Don't give up, right? So I think our main topic here, our main message would be determination can solve problems. So if you look up here, I've got our essential message right here in our oval. Determination can solve problems. So we're going to look at some pages and decide what the message is here on some pages. And I'm going to write it on the board. All right. So we're going to look at 21, 22, 23, 24, and 26. So let me get my book. And we're going to read 21 and 22. Like always it came, first a breeze, then a gusting gale. The tower swayed and the blade spun round. So let's think about that. What is the meaning on this? Maybe that the windmill was finally complete and that the blades started moving with the wind, right? And it worked. So let's write that on the board. I will write our meaning up here. So I'm going to put windmill complete. And the wind came It worked. Okay, so that's one. So let's look at 23 and 24. With sore hands once slowed by hunger and darkness, William connected wires to a small bulb, which flickered at first and then surged as bright as the sun. Tonga, he shouted, I have made electric wind. So what's going on? He made electricity, didn't he? Okay. So William made electricity. All right. And now let's look at 26. Let's look at page 26. Wachita Bino, a man yelled, well done. As the doubters clapped and cheered, William knew he had just begun. Light could not fill empty bellies, but another windmill could soak the dry ground, creating food where once there was none. Majetsia mifapio, electric wind can feed my country, William thought. So what's going on here? He's already thinking ahead that he's ready to build another one, isn't he? To help feed his people. All right, so let's write that down. He was thinking about how to build another windmill for, I better put for water. For water. Okay. So our essential message here, let's think about what we have. We have the windmill was complete and the wind came and it worked. So he never gave up. He completed that windmill and it worked. He was still determined. He made electricity. And even more determined because he saw how the first one has worked. He was already thinking ahead on how he could make another one to help pump water to his country, to help give them the opportunity to make food and have food. All right, so let's move on. All right, it says create focus question task 5 part 2. Now, on this, we are not going to complete this because we have already done this. We did it in yesterday's lesson. So we're actually going to skip this because on today's part 2, it's just acting it out. All right, we're just acting it out. So we are not going to do that because I wouldn't get to see you all act it out. Right. All right, so our content framing question is, what is the essential meaning of the boy who harnessed the wind? So what can we take away from this? What was one lesson that you learned from this text today? What did you learn? Determination, never to give up on things. I think that's an awesome plan. Never give up on your dreams. Keep stepping forward. All right, so let's move on. All right, our fluency homework check-in. So let me stop sharing here. Hold on, my friends. Share my screen. All right, so let's look at our fluency homework here. We have The Wind by James Reeves. I can get through a doorway without any key and strip the leaves from the great oak tree. I can drive storm clouds and tall towers or steal through a garden and not wake the flowers. Seas I can move and ships I can sink. I can carry a housetop or the scent of a pink. When I'm angry, I can rave and riot, and when I am spent, I like quiet as it. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing there, put you back up here. And so that is our wrap up. So on our deep dive, this is going to be put in your journal, okay? So let's think about, what do you know about farms and farming? Well, on a farm, we know there's lots of animals, there's barns, there's fields, right? And there's a farmer and his wife. They grow food. They drive tractors a lot of times, but it's a working business because they produce eggs and they send them off to stores. They have cattle to where they can milk the cattle and send the milk off that way too. All right. So what I want you to do here is I want you to pick 2 words and create a sentence. So let's think about this. We have dribble and basketball, game, shoot, score, play, produce, harness, starve, electricity, pump, power, creating, and machine. So you're going to pick 2 of those words and you're going to create a sentence with 2 of those words. All right. So for example, I would pick dribble and basketball. I would write, I dribble a basketball, because that's one sentence and I'm using 2 words. So what I'm trying to do is I'm linking 2 words together. That's what I was talking about, farms and farming. They're linked together because you know what a farm is and what farming is because it takes place together. As dribble and basketball, or game and shoot, or score and play, or produce and harness, starve and electricity, pump and power, or creating and machine, okay? You pick 2 words and you create a sentence, okay? All right, guys, that is your deep dive for today. So that is the end of this lesson, and I will see you back here again tomorrow. All right, guys, bye.